Hello once again, dear viewers. You're watching ERi-TV. Welcome to our news broadcast. First, the major headlines for this evening. "11 people diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today." Meeting on strengthening contribution in national programs. 9 dead after floods in Sri Lanka and southern India. 3 days of mourning declared in Sierra Leone for tanker explosion tragedy that killed 100 people last Friday. In our domestic news, an announcement from the Ministry of Health. 11 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine centers and testing stations in the central, southern, and southern Red Sea regions. Out of these, 6 patients are from testing centers and quarantine centers in Asmara, central region. 4 patients are from quarantine centers in Girgish and Maimuna, southern region. The last patient is from quarantine center in Asab, southern Red Sea region. Sadly, 76-year-old patient in the central region has passed away due to the pandemic. On the other hand, 7 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the central, southern, and Red Sea and Gash Barka regions have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly risen to 6,782, while the number of deaths has risen to 47. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,959. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 8 November 2021. Members of the PFDG organization and the National Union of Eritrean Women in Germany conducted a virtual meeting aimed at strengthening their participation and contributing in the national development programs. At the annual meeting, the members of the PFDG organization branch in central Germany conducted Mr. Johannes Waldu, Charge d'Affaires of the Eritrean Embassy, and Mr. Zerasanai Gabratinsai, chairman of the PFDG organization, gave extensive briefings on the objective situation in the homeland and the role of the nationals in this new era prevailing. Presenting the annual activity report, Mr. Kasatuwalde, head of public and community affairs, called on the members to play vanguard role in the national affairs. The Eritrean General Consul in Frankfurt, Mr. Kabrab Tagaste, on his part, called on the members of the PFDG organization to play due role in cooperation with other national associations in the implementation of national development drives. The participants, on their part, expressed conviction to live up to the expectations. In the same vein, 54 members of the National Union of Eritrean Women from 23 sub-branches in Germany conducted 6 months activity assessment as well as on the charted out programs for 2022. Speaking at the event, Ms. Orba Afurgi, head of the union, commending the participation and the members of the national affairs, called for reinforced participation and contribution in the new era. The participants also conducted extensive discussion on the charted out programs for 2022. Residents of 5 villages of the Gabjab administrative area for a subzone are conducting commendable community-based environmental sanitation activities, indicating that the achievement registered is the result of the sustainable awareness-raising activities. Mr. Omar Suleiman, administrator of the district, said that community environmental sanitation activities have significant contribution in controlling communicable and waterborne diseases and called for its sustainability, pointing out that in 2020 and 2021, 48 villages from the 50 administrative areas in the subzone have implemented the community-based environmental sanitation programs. Mr. Zarizki Naramariam, head of the social service in the subzone, called on the remaining villages to follow the exemplary activities. That was our domestic news. Please stay tuned for the international right after the short break. 9 people are dead and 2 others missing after floods in Sri Lanka and parts of southern India caused by more than a week of pounding rains. Nearly half of Sri Lanka's 25 districts have been hit by the deluge, with the worst affected areas in and around the island's tea-growing Central Highlands. More floods are likely in the coming days, with downpours set to move to the country's northern coast around the city of Jaffna, the country's weather bureau warned. 4 people have also died in rain-related incidents across India's Tamil Nadu state. Authorities had established more than 150 relief camps to distribute food and aid to those forced out of their homes. Most main roads in state capital Chennai were underwater and trees were uprooted, disrupting traffic. Residents were seen wading around the city ankle-deep in water that also lapped up against the century-old offices of the municipal government. Flooding in Chennai killed more than 250 people during record rainfall in 2015. Scientists say even more unprecedented and extreme weather across South Asia has been caused by climate change and exacerbated by deforestation, damming, and excessive development. Sierra Leonean President Julius Maada Bio has declared 3 days of national mourning after a fuel tanker explosion on Friday killed more than 100 people. Mr. Maada Bio said the country must learn from the incident, adding that those injured would be given free treatment. He said he was setting up a task force to look into the incident and make recommendations on how to avoid this happening again. At least 101 people died and about 100 others were injured when the tanker blew up after colliding with another truck in the capital, Freetown. Sierra Leone has suffered a number of recent tragedies. In March, more than 80 people were injured in a fire that swept through one of Freetown's slums, displacing more than 5,000 residents. In 2017, over 1,000 people were killed in a mudslide caused by heavy rains. Now a recap of tonight's news headlines. Eleven diagnosed positive for COVID-19 on tests carried out today. Meeting on strengthening contribution in national development programs. 9 dead after floods in Sri Lanka and southern India. 3 days of mourning declared on Sierra Leone's for tanker explosion tragedy that killed 100 people last Friday. And that was our news for tonight, dear viewers. It is good night from us.